Hey guys, what's going on? This is djTLM. You're watching djTLMtv. Time for a Q&A video, and today I want to talk to you about practicing your skills. I received a question, and the question was how much time I spend practicing my skills, working on my skills. And that could be mixing, scratching, whatever. Now, I have to say straight away that right now, I do not practice at all at home. I'll get back to that in a minute. But let me take you back like years ago when I just started out and I was still practicing at home. I used to practice for 6 to 8 hours a day, working on mixing, working on my scratch techniques, and I would just pop a tape in the tape deck, press record, grab some records, and start mixing. Just freestyle, just start learning how to blend the tracks, beat matching, EQ, all of that. So after 45 minutes, I would sit down, I would listen to what I just recorded, and I would evaluate my own mix to see what I did right and what I did wrong. Now, of course, during the mix, I could already tell some of the things, but when you sit down and listen to what you just did, you might hear some extra stuff as well. After the 45 minutes were over, I listened to the tape, I would just record another mix, and so on and so on. And when it came to scratching, I would listen to songs by other artists, and a lot of the hip hop back in the days had scratching on it, and I would listen to the scratches and I would try to emulate those scratches because you didn't have videos that showed you how to do all the techniques. So I did it all by ear, just listening and trying to repeat what I heard in the songs. And I could do that for hours on. And every time I stumbled on a new technique, I was like, hey, this sounds right. I would just continue to practice that movement for hours on. So that was in the beginning, and that's the first stage. That's practicing at home just to work on your skills, improving your skills. Now, after that, there's a second part, the second phase, and that is practicing in front of people. You cannot practice how to play in a club at home because at home you're by yourself. So I moved on from playing at home to doing house parties and birthdays for friends. I would bring my turntables, bring my vinyl, and I would play in front of my friends. Now, they thought it was cool, and sometimes some of them would join in and also mix a couple of records. And of course, they're your friends, but still you have your first audience. So now you can start to learn about checking the crowd for their reaction, reading the crowd, having people come up to you, bugging you while you're in the middle of your mix, socializing with your friends and not paying enough attention to your records and missing your mix and the song would end and you didn't have the next song ready yet. You learn about all that stuff. Now, after those house parties, of course, I graduated, moved on to the clubs, and that's where you really learn how to play in front of people even more. Right now, like I said, I don't practice at home. All my practice is when I'm doing my gigs. So every time I step on the stage or walk into a club and do a show, that's my practice moment. Because every time you do play, you gain more experience, and every gig can bring you something new. It's not like you're gonna learn new techniques while you're playing in a club, but you still hopefully get better. Because there's always room for improvement. I'm not going to sit here and say, I know how to DJ and there's nothing I can learn, because I've seen other DJs play in a certain way that I found appealing, and I might want to start adding some of what they're doing into my style. So I might want to add some controllerism to my turntablism, and I don't know. I'll get into that in a different video, but there's always room for improvement. There's still a lot of scratches that I would like to learn. So I wish I had more time to practice those scratches, because please, people, do not experiment and start practicing your scratching in the club. Do that at home. And once you mastered that technique, then you can add it to your club routine. But don't go all out with scratching in the club. I've seen people do this and the crowd doesn't enjoy hearing someone practice their scratching, offbeat scratching. They want to dance. So you get that, right? I hope you do. So my practice is during my gigs. I wish I had more time because there is room for improvement. And if you have that time, make sure that you use that time to practice on techniques that need improvement or experiment with new techniques. That could be mixing, that could be scratching, that could be adding effects, working with effects, adding loops, all sorts of stuff. And I wish I had more time because there's still a lot to learn. So I hope that answers your question. If you have any more questions, you know where to reach me, djTLMtv at djTLM.com. And I'll be back very soon with a new Q&A video. Make sure you click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And keep it in mind, y'all, practice is key. So practice, practice, practice. Peace.